Imagine you swing by your local Walmart on a Saturday morning. Overnight, the price of a 65-inch TV has dropped $30, but the air fryer right beside it has jumped by 10. By Sunday, the TV is back to its old tag, only now the shelf is half empty. None of that is human-driven. It's a silicon chess match being played inside Bentonville and Minneapolis, where retailers are asking the same question every 15 minutes. Do we bleed margin or do we risk an empty shelf? That dilemma exploded after the April 2025 tariff package dropped like a tariff-sized anvil. A leaked talking points memo prepared by White House Huddle shows Walmart, Target, and Home Depot pleading with President Trump. Higher duties could leave Halloween aisles bare and holiday bankrolls busted unless algorithms are allowed to raise prices in real time. Sources familiar with the meeting told news sources that the CEOs warned shelves could go bare within weeks. Inside the memos that followed, two numbers kept flashing red: 8 basis points and 2.6 days. 18 basis points is the amount of gross profit margin Walmart is already willing to surrender, according to CFO John David Rainey, to keep its everyday low price halo from dimming. And 2.6 days is the buffer Target's supply chain AI says it has on key SKUs before a tariff-driven stockout sends shoppers to Amazon for good. Picture a 3-lane data highway. Lane 1 streams live cost spikes as tariff codes update at U.S. Customs. Lane 2 feeds sell-through velocity straight from point-of-sale scanners, and Lane 3 scrapes competitive pricing every few minutes. A decision layer, think of it as the store's autopilot, tests thousands of price value curves per SKU, calculating whether shaving a dime keeps velocity humming or whether holding the line preserves margin even if value slips. White paper research on AI price engines warn that if the loop spins too aggressively, profit erosion can outpace any revenue gain. Dial it back too far and you hit the other cliff. Stockouts can vaporize an average 4% of annual sales before a single markdown appears. Tariffs shove those cliffs closer together. Walmart's own tech blog boasts of an inventory system that maps predictive demand to the shelf level, letting the algorithm pre-position goods and price for traffic rather than pure margin. In practice, that means accepting thinner grocery margins to protect scale and quietly lifting prices on low elasticity items like printer ink, plug the hole. Target's AI, by contrast, leans into curated scarcity. When the duty on imported French cookware jumped 10% this month, the engine slashed promotional depth and allowed a temporary out of stock in low traffic stores, betting that shoppers would substitute online orders rather than defect to Walmart. Both strategies were spelled out in memos circulated to department heads the week the tariffs hit. Walmart's note marked urgent Model 7 tariff playbook, greenlights immediate price lifts on discretionary home decor, but caps grocery hikes at 3% to protect traffic flow. Target's tariff tier matrix, on the other hand, runs the play in reverse. Hold household essentials flat to defend brand trust. Let fashion and seasonal rotate off shelves if necessary. The common thread is autonomous repricing. The debate is merely which KPI wins. When the CEOs warned Trump that tariffs plus price freezes equaled empty shelves, the administration softened its stance on non-China duties within 48 hours. Walmart's memo revised its own guardrails the next morning, extending the window in which AI could sacrifice a full percentage point of margin to stave off outages on Halloween candy, a product with near zero tolerance for late arrival. There's a darker side to the code. Impact Analytics cautions that repricers can enter a doom loop where they chase competitor hikes into runaway inflation if guardrails aren't explicit. Meanwhile, consumer advocacy groups argue that opaque real-time prices erode trust faster than any tariff. Retailers counter that the alternative is a flashback to 2020's empty toilet paper aisle. So where does that leave the rest of the economy? And your wallet? First, understand that big box chains are no longer price leaders. They're algorithmic followers of a demand curve that now moves faster than politicians can tweet. Second, expect jagged prices. One week, the AI will eat margin to keep you in the store. The next, it will pass the bill to you quietly on a product you rarely comparison shop. Third, brace for localized stockouts. If the model senses your zip code is less price sensitive, it will choose to run out rather than discount too early. For businesses watching the sidelines, the lesson is brutal but clear. If your own pricing still runs on spreadsheets, you're playing checkers against chess engine giants. Even modest retailers can tap off-the-shelf AI tools to read elasticity, forecast tariff impact, and simulate the stockout versus margin trade-off before it happens. The tech is no longer a luxury, it is tariff insurance. And for policymakers, remember this: tariffs aim to protect domestic jobs. But in the age of AI, the first casualty is often price stability. Algorithms reprice faster than regulators can react, turning policy lags into consumer whiplash. Transparency mandates requiring retailers to log algorithmic price decisions may become as important as the tariffs themselves if you want shoppers to trust the shelf again. We opened with that 65-inch TV. Let's close with it. If you show up next weekend and find the shelf empty, don't blame the clerk. Somewhere between a White House tariff briefing and a server farm in Arkansas, an algorithm decided your eyeballs were worth more than its margin, but not enough to justify an import duty that hadn't fully settled yet. Dynamic pricing or empty shelves. That's a new coin toss of retail. The only thing certain is that the toss now happens 1,000 times a day, and every flips writes a new chapter of the big box battle against tariffs. As AI writes the rules of retail, the winners will be those who understand the game behind the shelf. If this opens your eyes to the hidden tech war behind your next trip to Target or Walmart, hit like, subscribe, and drop a comment below.